Hello everybody, if you haven't heard me speak before, my name is Jennifer Hall, otherwise known as the Life Buddy, and I help women who are determined to become coaches create a successful coaching business. And today I wanted to talk to you a bit about coaching one-to-one versus coaching in a group. And for me, it's personal choice, and it's really what suits you in terms of what you want to do. You shouldn't necessarily be forced into doing one or the other. If it doesn't feel good, hey Holly, if it doesn't feel good, then at the end of the day, that you're not going to be giving your best self. So it's really important to pick the format in which feels right to you. And there are kind of pros and cons to both, really. So from my point of view, I much prefer working in a group, or at least in kind of a group one-to-one hybrid. It sounds like something from Alien, but actually it's something that I really like to do. And the reason is because I like to work in front of an audience. And I'm not shy about saying that. And I like to work with more than one person at once, because I also find that it's great to have that connection between different people, and for them to be able to bounce ideas off each other and learn from each other's stories and learn from each other's journeys. Is that Sophia or is it Holly? I think it's Holly. Holly, you're commenting as me because you're an admin on my page. Sounds like I'm talking to myself again. I really wish there was an easy way to solve this issue so I don't look like a complete loon. But it's really lovely to see you today, Holly. So for me, it's about picking what's right for you. But yeah, I like that feeling of building a tribe with a group of women. It's really, really lovely. And they get to build friendships, and they get to build those bonds together, which they can carry on through way past the coaching has finished. And it's really nice because you can to have those connections and those friendships with people who are going through the same journey is priceless. And trust me, I know this, because particularly if you're looking to coach online, and to be fair, I'm going to be bold and say if you're not looking to coach online, then you are absolutely missing a wonderful trick, because online coaching is where the money is, and not even just where the money is, but it's also where your ideal client is. Your ideal client is online. We've got this amazing tool that's been given to us to reach such a wider audience. It's so important to utilize that. If you're not utilizing it, you really are missing out. So being online and being able to connect with people across the world like me and Holly is just fantastic. So for me, groups are better because, one, I like it, it's a good vibe, and I feed off the energy of working in front of a lot of people. But the reason why I like the one-to-one hybrid is because I can bring in that one-on-one connection and get that kind of specialised service to them so that they can really make the most out of the coaching and apply it to their situation. But one-to-ones by themselves, for me, are very draining, and in a good way. And the reason why they're draining is because you tend to give your all. You give everything to your client because you want them to have the best service possible. And so you really do give everything you possibly can to them. But I come away from these sessions feeling really drained. But that's just me. For someone else, you might much prefer to work one-to-one, and that's absolutely fine. But don't forget the price difference between that one-to-one service and a group environment will be very different. Now, you could look at it from two ways. If you're starting out as a coach, when you're looking at whether you want to go one-to-one or in a group, you kind of have to look at the situation. And my coach said this to me, and it made total sense to me. So when I was starting out, I said to her, I created this group program. I didn't even offer one-to-one when I first started out. And I created this group program, and I was like, it feels like I'm not getting as far as I wanted to, because I only, for instance, had 2 on my group program. And she said to me, the thing is, if you had put it out there as a one-to-one, you would absolutely be celebrating the fact that you had 2 one-to-one clients. Because you had 5 spots and you only filled 2 of them, you feel like you haven't got as far as you should do. So it's all up here. It's all a mental game. And it's, you know, it depends on the goal that you're setting yourself. And I guess the lesson in here is don't beat yourself up. Don't mentally say to yourself you haven't done well. You know, when you're starting out, a client is a client. Celebrate every little win, because if we're not grateful for the small things, then the bigger stuff won't come. And that's a lesson in itself for everything. So every small win, whether you sell a £5 workbook or whether you sell a £3,000 one-to-one coaching program, whatever it is, celebrate it. It's so important to celebrate every single step forward, because it is a step forward. And the thing is, even if you do decide to go group and you only get 1 or 2, let them jump on, do the coaching, never pull the plug, do it. Those people are going to come off that train screaming and shouting about how great it was, and then the next train pulls up, more will get on, and so on and so forth, and your business will grow. But when you're first starting out, it's very easy to kind of scold ourselves or feel disappointed because we didn't get the amount of people that we wanted. So celebrate every single little thing. But yeah, for me, I mean, groups you can make a lot of money out of, because at the end of the day, you can create programs that don't have that one-to-one hybrid, because this is the thing. If you have a mixed bag of a group and one-to-one, you know, it's actually quite heavy going on both levels, because at the end of the day, you're still doing one-to-one and you're doing that added extra work with the group. So it's still life sucking. So you can't offer those kind of programs on a higher scale. You're probably looking at around about a maximum of 5 people, because to offer a one-to-one experience plus the group at the same time is going to be exhausting, and really 5 might even be too much for you. It might be 3 people or whatever that you want to do that hybrid with. But you can just create purely group programs where it doesn't involve any one-to-one work at all. And in those sorts of programs, you could, you know, your sky's the limit. And so you can offer at a lower cost and have people in there that, you know, that feels more affordable to them. Because this whole thing about your sales funnel, and when I mention the word sales funnel, a lot of people kind of crawl back into themselves and go, oh, this is really scary what you're talking about, sales funnels. But when your client first comes in, when you're first popping onto the scene and you deliver, say for instance, a £2,000 coaching package to them, if you don't have anything to step up from, it can be quite scary. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do this. You do whatever you want to do. But psychologically speaking, people come in and they see this humongous product and they're like, whoa, that's a lot to invest in somebody, particularly if you don't have any testimonials yet, and they don't have any social proof and all of those kinds of things. So sometimes it's better to, I mean, it's always good to give free stuff, always good. I will never back down on that. Doing things like this on Facebook Live or writing out real value packed content in the form of a blog or whatever it is you're doing, give it away to your clients, because when they read that, when they see you, when they get that free training, they are going to feel valued and they're going to be able to see the value that you can give them. And if you give them incredible value for free, they are going to be saying, wow, well, if her free stuff is this great, imagine what her paid stuff is going to be like. So never withhold that value. So that's kind of the first step to your sales funnel, is offering opt-ins, offering your great value content for free, and then offering them something potentially on a lower level. My friend Amy calls this the low-hanging fruit. So it's not your top high-end packages, but you can offer them something which is kind of the next step up. Now, the people that are serious will probably go for the high-end stuff because they've seen your amazingness and your free stuff and they've made that connection. They're great straight onto the high stuff if they can. But offering that low-hanging fruit, that kind of mid-range package for them to step up to, gives them a taste of what you can offer, and then they can step up to the bigger package. If it helps you when you're first starting out, create a bigger package. And then you can break it up into smaller ones. So if it's a big package, it's most likely going to be sort of staged into different things. So pull one of those stages out, and that can be one of your smaller packages that you can offer people for a lower price. And when it comes to group, it makes it more affordable. The thing is, there is a perception out there about group programs where people look at group and they think automatically that they're not going to get as much out of it as they will a one-to-one. Unfortunately, that is just the perception out there. It doesn't mean that people don't join on groups, they absolutely do. But there is a perception out there that they're going to get more value from a one-to-one. So just bear that in mind. And that's why I've chosen to run a hybrid, because I much prefer groups, but I do understand that people want to know that they're getting the very best for them specifically, which is why I brought in the one-to-one option at a very limited space. Hi Maggie, lovely to see you. Those of you who don't know, Maggie is part of my Awaken the Coach package, and she runs a foundational NLP skills training course which comes with my coaching package, and it's fantastic. So I'm really looking forward, because this part of the course is brand new. Maggie's jumped on, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of that coaching package that she's putting together. So it's exciting times. So yeah, and this is the other great thing about sort of, running group packages, is that you can do this. You can collaborate with other coaches as well. And you can pull, different expertise in that aren't necessarily you, because I'm going off on a tangent here, but trying to pretend that you can cover all angles of expertise dilutes what you do. So you go out there and you've said that you're niched, and then you start teaching or coaching in things that aren't necessarily your bag. What's better to do is actually collaborate with the people who have those specific expertise, and people really value you. They don't see that as a weakness or anything less. They see it as someone who's recognised that they're able to refer to people who have an expertise in something. That's why I pulled Maggie on board. That's why I've pulled Sophia on board, who deals with the social media side of things, because she knows her stuff. Maggie knows her stuff. They're experts in their fields, and I would much rather them teach and coach in those areas than me give you a half-assed diluted version. So make sure that when you niche, that you own it. This is something I spoke about yesterday. When you've niched and you said, this is my specialism, this is what I'm an expert in, that you actually own it, and that you go out there and you actively practice what you know in your head. So you've specialized in confidence for a particular type of client. Don't start teaching confidence for a different scenario. That's kind of what I'm saying. Don't dilute your message. Keep it strong. Keep to what you know. Stay in your lane. Do your thing. And if you want to offer your clients something a bit extra, pull in, collaborate with everyone else. And that's the beauty of working with groups, is that you can pull in that collaboration. And to be fair, you can even collaborate in a one-to-one scenario. There's, that's not a problem either. But obviously, that again pushes your pricing up. If you're working one-to-one with people continuously, only for them, that has to have the price tag that comes with it. And again, it's all about knowing your worth, and it's all about knowing, how much you're going to charge and not feel crap about once you've gone, that initial, yay, I've got money, and then you go to deliver that service, and then you feel crap. You're just like, actually, I haven't charged enough here because I don't feel good about it. And that is a disservice to your client, because they're only going to get a diluted version of you, because your energy is not in it. When you charge higher prices, one, the investment that they're making into it means their emotional investment is much bigger and much more committed. But there's also that commitment to you to make sure that you deliver the very best of what you possibly can. And it goes for the same for groups as well. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that, you have sort of like your minimum number that you expect to take on for that group, and total up how much that comes to. And are you going to feel good about delivering that group program? You have to feel good about your pricing. It is essential. So yeah, so those are some of the pros and cons from working in a one-to-one environment and working in a group. And again, for me, I just like that. But I know there are a lot of people out there who love working one-to-one. But, you know, mix it up a bit, make things exciting, offer people different formats and ways of learning, because just because people have this perception that one-to-one is the best, doesn't mean you won't get people on a group program. When, you know, as particularly if you are able to break it down into specifics, offering specific things to them in the form of a group program, you remember you're not selling the coaching, you're selling the outcome. And if you can promise them that after that particular time they will have this you know, outcome, whatever that may look like, that is what is enticing to people. So just remember that you're not selling the coaching, you're selling the outcome. So that's me done for today, my little rant. Let's have a look what Maggie says. Collaboration is key, gives you a fantastically well-rounded service too. Not that many people offer that. Exactly. And that's such a key point, Maggie, actually, that people haven't really cottoned on to this yet, that, you know, you're better together at the end of the day. And the fact that you can refer people on. And also, just very quickly before I leave you, this is the other thing, is that when you get clients away, particularly when you're new, even if they're not ideal, it's very tempting to go, I can still do it, I'll amend everything I do and I can still help you with this, because you're desperate for the client, because you want clients, because you're new and you want that testimonial, and you start to think like it's you that needs to bend. But at the end of the day, if they've come to you and you know, they know whether they're a right fit and you know if they're a right fit, and if they're not the right fit, it is much better to have a team of people around you that you can refer them to, and they will remember you for that. And then when they're ready, or, you know, when they evolve into your ideal client, then they will come back, because they will remember you for the fact that you referred them on to somebody who is better equipped to deal with it. And it's not about being better, in inverted commas, than you. It's about having that area of expertise, sticking in your lane, knowing what you know, knowing what your thing is, and being truthful and honest with yourself and that client as to whether they are better with you or better with somebody else. So really stick to your boundaries and don't bend too much for people who aren't necessarily your ideal client. You know, there are obviously times when things do work out where, you know, they might not tick every single box, but you feel confident, and it's, you know, that it'll work, and that's absolutely fine. But don't start pretending that you're able and you feel 100% confident with helping them when you know that you're not going to give them the service that they need. Be honest with them and refer them, because they will remember you, and that will only look good on you when you're able to do that. So even if you don't collaborate, which I recommend you do, just having that network around you of knowing other coaches and knowing other areas of expertise that you can refer to each other is essential. Maggie says, yup, I remember that feeling. Very good advice. So true. Oh, glad that resonated with you, my lovely. So yeah, thanks ever so much for listening all. It's fantastic to see you, and Merry Christmas. I'm sure I'll be on before Christmas ends. I'll probably pop on tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care. Oh, before I go, I've done that whole thing, that mistake that I always make when I don't give the call to action at the end. If you would like to see more of me, more of my trainings, and more of what I've got to offer, do jump in my group, Awaken the Boss. Type that into Facebook and I will pop my group. Join in there, and then you can see me doing many more of these trainings and giving you some tips and advice. So yeah, see you in there. Take care. Bye bye.